Let's start. My name is Senthil Kumaran. I started my tech career way back when 8086 programming was so cool. I don't know how many of you know what that means. And then to Smalltalk, to C++. Believe it or not, Smalltalk was a programming language. How many of you know Smalltalk? I'm a big fan. Oh, wow. So I'm in the good group then. Same age as me, somebody. Okay, cool. So now that you have, oh my God, okay. Those were my seniors, I guess. Okay. Now that you all know my age, so let's start. The only involvement of this slide deck with ChatGPT, I'm sure everybody knows ChatGPT in this room, isn't it? So the description of this thing was put together by ChatGPT. The only involvement of Bard in this presentation today is the title header was given by Bard. So that's all. So if there is any bug, just blame it on Bard or blame it on ChatGPT. Okay, so it's just not me. Perfect. If you're here to learn about any of these things that I've listed here, then you're in the wrong room. Okay, just step outside. If you want to know about scikit-learn, TensorFlow, or any of those things, take Coursera or Udacity or Udemy or EDX. Okay, come back to the same building and approach me because I work here on the 5th floor, not on the Best Buy side, on the Health Partner side. I mean, you could go work for Best Buy too. Cool place. You could sell more electronics. That's not a problem. But you could come work for a healthcare tech company because that's where we spend a lot of dollars. So you could make a killer living. That's all. Perfect. So we're not going to talk about any of these things. If you have questions on Keras, then I'm not the right guy. So is AI going to replace jobs? How many of you think that is AI going to replace jobs? 50% of the room thinks AI is going to replace jobs. Yeah. Does computer replace jobs? That question was probably asked 50 years ago by somebody in the same room, isn't it? Is the internet going to replace jobs? Does anybody know how many of us were working in farming? Not us. Our forefathers were working in farming exactly 100 years ago. United States. 70%. 70%, yeah. 100 years ago. 54%. I'm sure less than 5% in this room, if I ask them to do farming, they can talk 10 words about it, isn't it? Less than 5%. You know, yeah, you belong in a different category. No. Very few people know about farming here, isn't it? Are we all unemployed? No. The unemployment rate 100 years ago to today is a lot better. I mean, we are all employed. Actually, we are better fed. We have a reverse problem, isn't it? That's why I work in healthcare. Okay. So yes, AI is going to replace jobs. Yeah. The World Economic Forum is saying 85 million jobs will be replaced. This was like a year ago before ChatGPT came out. But then people miss a few interesting points. The next paragraph in the same thing, the World Economic Forum says, AI is going to create 94 million jobs. So the point here is 50 years ago, you embrace computer, you embrace technology, you have a better living. Same thing, the next 30 years, if you embrace AI, if you're a lawyer, you better know AI. If you're a healthcare professional, you better know what AI does, isn't it? If you're a nurse practitioner, no, I just do care delivery. That's my core job. I don't care what AI means. So then you'll be replaced by somebody. That's my theory, okay? Please don't count on this. After 10 years, you don't say like, no, I'm a nurse practitioner. I don't even know what AI is. That's fine, but you'll be replaced by humans with the better AI knowledge. That's what happened with folks who know computers, isn't it? Perfect. Again, These are things that you all probably know. Some of these things are put together by some AI tools. So if anybody needs any of this slide deck, just ping me in LinkedIn after this, so you don't have to like take pictures or anything like that. These are some of the tools that you're already interfacing with, isn't it? Cortana, or I'm sure you're enriching a lot of these tools by speaking something to these tools. So I don't want to talk about any of that. A lot of you probably have heard about DALL-E. How many in this room know DALL-E? Okay, so just go play around on these tools. I like Facetune better because it whitens up my teeth, so my coffee stains are no longer there. But it doesn't fix my costume though, because this is what happens when you work from home and then get up at 6 and get out to come here. Doesn't do that part, but it. Have you heard about Midjourney? I like AI Picasso. Have you folks tried these? These are tools that I have tried a little bit. These are real game changer tools. I'm sure everybody knows about DALL-E, but I spend time on AI Picasso because my creative brain has 0 cells. AI Picasso feels me I'm like a super creative genius. So it boosts my energy. Facetune. These are Starry AI. You can create an image. So there are folks who are creating images now from this, and then they're submitting it to some big image contest and winning it. Have you guys heard about it? So now this is no longer image editing, isn't it? There are lots of designer tools now. How many of you use Canva in this room? Canva, 30% of the room, wow. I don't know how many of you know about Design Beast. There are lots of articles written about, like, if you're a designer in the future, okay, you better know Design Beast or Canva. Or logo making is so easy. Actually, the logo that I had in my previous slide was created by Logo EV in this slide. In exactly a minute. I answered like 3 questions. I wanted a logo for image editing and creation. This is what it gave me. I just like, okay, done. So these are, I like designs.ai. Galileo AI is another one where you can like turn your NLP stuff to like images. And also designs. So if you're ever working in marketing landing page, and if you take like 3 months to create a page, in the future, or actually not in the future, today, somebody is going to use Galileo AI and create that same design plus the web page in less than an hour. So it's happening. You can start the journey, or you can still be left out. I'm sure you guys are all here to start this journey, isn't it? So these are some of the tools that I found. Now you can do video. You can go take the deep learning course where, at MIT where Obama welcomes you, isn't it? Or you can take the EDX course where you like the Morgan Freeman's voice. Then you can take the whole ML course in Morgan Freeman's voice. I wish somebody does it in the Julia Roberts voice. Then I'll take it. Then maybe I can answer questions on scikit-learn or something like that. But anyway, these are tools that are available today for everybody. Cool. I want to open this because this is right after lunch, isn't it? We don't want to sleep. So questions. Questions? Yes, sir. Yeah.
I'm using some of these tools
Yeah.
already, and
Yeah.
I'm having people ask about copyright and
Yeah.
how you can take ownership of some of these things.
Yeah. Great question, isn't it? Like, how do we? This is where if you go to. Great. Let's just hold on to that. 2 more slides. I have all of this coming. So any other questions? 2 more slides. Yeah.
So I've been playing with some of these tools as well.
Yes.
And something I've been wanting to accomplish is I want to create my own kind of ChatGPT, fit it with my own,
Yeah.
that data, train it into my own stuff and be
Yeah.
able to interact, So I think I saw also like you were gonna talk about like Python and other stuff. So I have done like coding in the past, like C++,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Pro, Fox Pro, and
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and I can get my way around. But I was wondering, you know, what do you think is going to be like the tools that people that are
Yeah.
not
In our yeah, yeah, great. In our data science team, our velocity has increased so much in the last 6 months with a lot of the Python code bug debugging and all that. So there are tools. You're like jumping on to slide number 20. He's on to slide number 5. Great, great. Yeah, yeah. We'll get there, hopefully in the next few minutes. I'm sure everybody knows about Grammarly. I'm sure Gmail fixes it. So we are already interacting with a lot of AI tools, isn't it, today? We are. But I like Quillbot. Is anybody using here Quillbot? That actually makes a little bit better than ChatGPT. Is what if you're ever doing content creation, try the Quillbot. Okay, WordTune is just for a specific sentence. I mean, Grammarly just does the spelling correction. That's like the 3rd grade, 5th grade. You got to jump on, isn't it? You want to move on, isn't it? So that's what WordTune is. Then comes Quillbot. People say TextBlaze is good. I don't know. I haven't tried it. Anybody here doing TextBlaze or any other tool like this? These are simple proofreading, so you no longer need to be super grammatically correct on anything. Spell correction was something like 20 years ago, isn't it? Like, I don't know why we still have the spelling contest. That's dead to me, isn't it? Who does like, oh. This is like, oh, I need to know before calculators, believe it or not. Oh, yes, sir, question. Yeah.
Zotero, if you're a student, it does your APA and MLA style for you. It does the bibliography and all the work. In November, I just finished a bachelor's degree, and the instructor said, if you don't use Zotero, I'm going to fail you right now. That was his opening statement. He
Okay.
said, just use it because then I don't have to check it. If you're using it, I know it's done correctly, and I don't have to spend any time. I
Yeah.
did the entire bibliography and all the footnoting for the entire paper in under 5 minutes.
There you go. That's what I always say, you better use the tool. I mean, you can still cut the wood by the hand saw. If you're a carpenter, nothing wrong in it. But there are like 100 other tools, isn't it? Like circular saw. I don't even know. I'm sorry, I'm not a carpenter. But there are like, I still have only one saw. I might have to get a few more, but that's okay. So we can outsource it too. So these are proofreading. Let's go to transcription services. We are already using some of these things, isn't it? I like whisper memos. When I'm in the meeting and somebody smokes something and suddenly an idea comes to my mind, I just speak, but after putting the microphone on mute, obviously. So then it converts it into like my words into things which gets into an email, and then it gets into a ChatGPT kind of a service. Then it brings me more link to what I need to read about on a specific topic. If you're ever doing business in many countries, like creating ML, like marketing landing pages, and if you want to translate, the Trint does a much better job, is what my marketing folks tells me. Otter.ai, you can transcribe now. You no longer have to like search. It goes and transcribes everything. So you can record all of your stuff in a cloud. So this is where I was thinking content creation. There are tools like Jasper, WriteSonic. Don't use ChatGPT if you ever want a content that you need to publish. So this WriteSonic versus Jasper. Read about it. I like Jasper the best. Some people say WriteSonic is the best. I like Writer too. If you're ever going to publish a book, you should know about all these 4 things. Because book publishing in the future will be a lot faster, a lot easier. Yes, sir.
I haven't used any of these tools, and I was
Yep.
curious, are you able to train them on kind of your tone?
Yes.
and
Yeah.
writing style?
Yeah. Writer does. Jasper does. Obviously, these are paid tools, so you can do certain. These are all freemium products, isn't it? Free, like you have a free version, and then if you really like it, pay $20 instead of enriching Netflix. You could do these guys. So then at least your job becomes a little bit easier, is what I'm saying, or your work becomes a lot more fun. Then if you have to write 2 paragraphs, I'd use to scratch my hair and like turning gray. Instead, you could use Writer, isn't it? That's all. This is going back to the same like the circular saw versus the hand saw. Nothing wrong in using the hand saw, but it takes a lot of energy and time.
Actually get my documentation done.
Lot faster. But then you also have to be careful, isn't it? Like if you're in healthcare or fintech, like am I training somebody else? Like am I feeding this data to those guys? So you have to create a model at your own place so that you're not like doing generative with somebody else's data. Or you feed them and this is like what we are doing with Netflix, isn't it? We feed them so much data, or Facebook, and they become much more powerful. So that's the fine line. So these are few other content creation tools that some of my team members said like you should use this. I haven't played around, but a lot of folks say Article Forge is a really good one for what's the word, like the worry-free content. Okay, AI Writer is one. So these are real tools. This has traction. All the tools that I'm putting out here have at least 10,000 plus users. Okay, some of them have like 100,000, some of them have 1 million. Like for instance, Jasper has every month they are saying that they are pulling in 10,000 plus new users into their website. So we all just know about ChatGPT, isn't it? It's like, is Facebook the only social media platform? Like 10 years ago, if you go into a room and ask, what's social media? 70% of them would say Facebook. Today, probably even 7% of them would say social media is Facebook, isn't it? Or Meta, whatever. Yeah. Nothing, I'm not against those companies. I just make fun out of them, that's all. That's, I don't know, but I do work for a healthcare company, so I better be careful. I don't want to make fun out of anything. So then these are some other companies on the content creation. So these are all like the companies before ChatGPT or before OpenAI. Okay, actually Jasper does some much better content than ChatGPT, but many of us like the free stuff, isn't it? And what do they do? So they want all of our data. They'll be the best prompt engineering company in 5 years, because these are all the prompts. If somebody from this specific country is going to do a prompt on this specific topic, they will know much more about that. Who? OpenAI. But they're not open anymore, but that's a different story. But these are some other companies. Have anybody, if anybody in the room used anything like this, just raise their hands. They can talk about this tool, pros, cons, isn't it? So that I don't have to talk all the time. Okay, sound, music. So you can create now your own music. So I listen into some of this AI created music. Sometimes it's really cool. You can actually create your own songs now. You can publish them without even knowing anything about music. That's the beauty. These are all some of the, I'm sure everybody has here heard about 11 Labs or something, isn't it? 11 Labs is a pretty famous company out here. But I like brain.fm. So there is Podcastle too. If you're ever doing podcasts, these are some tools that you should know about. Like there is a dubbing software, Papercup. A lot of the folks are using Papercup, SoundDraw. Anybody use any of the sound AI tools? Okay, so nobody's. So these are video tools. I really like Toonly. Like if you go to Toonly, you can create cartoon videos. So to teach you about a specific topic, I like the Mickey Mouse cartoon so much. So if I'm very hard on learning something, I go to Toonly, say, can you say this in the Mickey Mouse voice? And then it just registers to my brain. I don't know why, but that's the way I'm tuned, I guess. So I haven't grown up on video watching after year 10, I believe, but it works. So now you can actually do different videos and audios and the style that you can consume, isn't it? Like if you like Morgan Freeman, then he can come and talk for you for free now. You no longer need to have like, huh? Yeah. Yeah. You can actually. There are videos. He's talking about a South Indian actor who's really big. We can do lots of different things. So there is in fact a lot of video clips which takes the famous RRR song and then puts it into different actors' face. You can do that. It's a lot easier, isn't it now? This is where this is going to cause a new area of, is this real video or is this fake video? Have you guys, like now you can take your Instagram audio, okay, 1 minute of your audio. This is the serious stuff, guys. So they take 1 minute of your audio. Now they can create a video with that picture and the audio and then send you a threatening clip that I have your kid. And they'll be screaming for like, mom, come and help me, dad, come and help me. These are all the things that AI can generate for free now. So I don't want to scare anybody, but that brings a lot of opportunities, isn't it? So then you feed this into like ChatGPT 0. ChatGPT 0 figures out whether this content came from ChatGPT or it came from an AI generated software. So same way we can create some tools which will figure out whether it's a copyrighted content. So this is where the new jobs are going to come from, isn't it? So if you're working for fintech or healthcare tech, this is like awesome because the next 50 years is covered. Cool. Just go play around these tools. Just makes it a lot more fun. Pictree. You can actually generate your 2-minute video clip of your own brand in like less than 2 minutes. Like by giving few prompts, AI will generate a video, and as I said, like if you can go, like it generates in that woman's voice with that woman. That's all AI generated face, by the way. But if you specifically like Julia Roberts like me, then you can somewhat similar to Julia Roberts create a face, then she doesn't come and sue you. So we can do that too. So it's all possible.
Do any of these take like clips if you're making a YouTube video and edit them into a final?
Yes, there are. Yes, there are tools like.
Those, or?
I don't know which one, but there are like tools like just go. I think it's Quinn.io. Something. One of the 2 video tools that I have. So, see, I'm not a video editing person. I love the image area, but you can create like your promotional videos. Like if you're a new entrepreneur, you no longer need to know Python, isn't it? Like to create stuff. You no longer need to be a data whiz. There are tools now so that can generate marketing pages, that can generate social feeds, that can go do these jobs for you. So you can be a one-man army like Arnold Schwarzenegger and still win the race, isn't it? That's what I'm talking about. Marketing and sales. These are some of the tools. I have zero clue. My marketing AI team said these are some of the tools that they are looking into or playing with. I just used a word cloud. Like whatever they said, I just funneled it into a word cloud AI generator, and it threw the slide for me. That's all. So you can generate slides like what I did by funneling all of it into a like these are all the content. Give me a description. That's what I did with ChatGPT. You can give it to slide.ai, and then it generates slides like this. Oh, I need a couple of word clouds. I didn't like this. So it's like having your own assistant, isn't it? Like your own admin assistant, and then chatting with them and saying like, oh, I did like this color, change it to this, things like that. So it's pretty cool. So you don't have to waste time on training somebody, because suddenly then that person leaves, then you have to train the next person. So now things become a little bit easier. So these are some things that you might find useful in your workspace. If you ever use Jira or something, try Time Doctor to unlock your team's performance, like figure out where the bottlenecks are. Use Timely. These are some good tools. Some of them are free. Anybody using anything like this?
I started playing around with
Moment. Okay.
Yeah,
What does that do, Andrew?
You're supposed to connect to your calendar, and then it sort of schedules
Yeah, yeah.
Some stuff, but it didn't support iCloud, so I wouldn't really get too far with it.
Yeah, so this is where the future, some of the project management, product management work we'll see. So I like the video of Tara. I haven't played around with it, but you can see the predicted versus actual effort much better than what Jira can. Like Jira's actuals, so this can say how do you need to make decisions to push tickets into who to push this ticket based on how they have worked on previous ones. So you could do all of this. But sometimes I worry that we are feeding too much data into some of these tools. So you got to be careful about that too. If you ever worry about security, especially in healthcare, we always worry about that. So these are two tools that I really like for alerting. They have a lot of deep learning algorithms, both of them do, and they create certain charts for us which says like this is where it could go wrong, what's your endpoint web service leak could be, who's hitting you most hard, what could be your problem areas, what's your weakest link. If you ever run a company and if you're a chief technologist, obviously you need to worry about your weakest link, isn't it? So I work for health partners. I work for a telehealth company, virtual, especially after pandemic or during pandemic, we were like super busy because we were one of the few clinics that were open for the March 2020. So we had like hundreds of patients coming in every minute. So we have to protect all of their data, isn't it? So tools like this just makes our life a little bit easier. Not a lot easier, but at least a little bit easier. So, sorry. Some of you asked about, I don't know, if you're still doing manual data entry, look at all these tools. Lumen 5, I'm sure folks might have heard about Lumen 5, isn't it, or no? Jenny is another AI write assistant for like you feed your data and then Jenny can write it for you too. So if anybody needs this slide deck, just ping me. These are some of the tools that I found. It's not the complete list. I'm sure there are like hundreds and hundreds of tools out there. If you're ever into the benefit management and HR, look into some of these tools. A lot of HR help desk automation is happening with Lena.ai. I think it's a local company. Anybody know Lena.ai? Wow. Eightfold. Eightfold is saying like you can help people become productive much faster. So they have lots of studies on like how to feed the data to your employee or based on like what they're learning through this tone or through this video. So you can figure out the patterns and then you generate a better content through for them to be more appealing. So that's what they're saying. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard about Zenfits, isn't it? Zenfits is what a lot of companies use, small companies. If you ever are into a master's program or into a PhD program, these are some of the tools that you should know about. So if you have to read a lot of stuff and write, this Scholar C is an online summarizing tool. Like one of my PhD friend, he said like that tool makes his life a lot easier because it creates flashcards for him. And I said like, why do you need a flashcard for PhD student? Isn't it that? I don't know. Flashcard when you're in 12th grade, it made sense for me. But I moved on from that. But if you're a flashcard person, because I'm still stuck in the Mickey Mouse age, I guess. But if you're a flashcard person, this tool could help you. I like some of Sheet Plus. This was something that somebody asked me. Like if you're ever using any kind of coding, apart from ChatGPT and Bard, use this called blackbox.io because it can generate code, it can debug code for you much faster. It's as if you are having your own senior software architect sitting right next to you. You can feed your Python code, and it can find bugs. It can create code like ChatGPT does. Okay. These are some other tools that I like. Crisp is another AI tool. I'm sure some of you might have used it. If you're using Gmail, tool like Magical AI as a plugin can like automate email responses much better than the simple auto message that you generate. If you use Outlook, you can smoke some of these tools into Outlook, thinking that you're replying in your own tone. You can like feed hundreds of your own writing into that tool, and then the tool knows that this is how Senthil will write. Okay, so it'll generate, and that way people will know that you are replying. They might think that you are replying. That's a great productivity hack.
Does that mean that the company that owns the AI now has all of your email?
Great question. Great question. Yes. You got to be very careful on what you're talking about. Yes. That is why we build tools. Like I try to like mimic some of these tools internally so that we don't enrich others. We enrich ourselves. That's the purpose of this, isn't it? Like you're not supposed. You can do that too. You can enrich Facebook still. You can enrich Netflix. I'm all for it because I do invest on them. But what I'm talking about is if you are very particular about data privacy, then you need to know about all of these things, isn't it? Because Gmail now knows a lot more about your writing, knows a lot more about you. Outlook does too. But then we are hoping Google and Microsoft doesn't sell that to anybody else. But we all know what they do. So if somebody here in the room thinks that all of your data is super secure and nobody is using your data, then I think the last 20 years they have this problem. So you better check your healthcare professional. Yes.
Proton Mail is
Yes.
encrypted.
Yeah.
If you get a Proton Mail account, they cannot give you the information in it. My only recommendation, and I teach this to everybody, is have 3 emails. I'll make this short and quick.
Yep.
Number 1 is your general email. You give it to everybody in the world. I'll give you my general email. Number 2, where do you save your money? You can only share this with your spouse. If you break with your spouse, change the email. I don't care about anything else. Change that email. When you spend money, have a 3rd email. Now, when you have those 3 emails, and somebody says, hey, I need your bank email, and they send it to your general email, you delete it right away because you know they sent it to the wrong email. I'm done.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. So these are some of the references. So anyway, this is not the complete list, but if you have questions, feel free to, we can make this as a chat. But I want to leave you with a story. So some of you might have heard about this, isn't it? Like there was a company which was generating matchboxes, matchsticks inside, and then every 10,000th box was empty. So they had to put a quality control because the CEO was so frustrated because every 10,000th box is empty and we ship them. It's all automated, isn't it? So nobody's like creating matchsticks anymore manually, putting it into the matchbox. If you think that that's 1980s, isn't it? So everything is automated today. So then the company decides, they hire a consulting company. They come back with 2 solutions. The solution 1 is a super expensive to like fix this sensors and everything so that the box doesn't be empty. So we can do that, but that's like 100 million. But they have a cheaper solution, 10 million. The solution is, let's go put a super minute weighing scale, put 20 boxes each in the channel, and then every hour or so, it'll say, 20 matchboxes is equal to this much weight. And now it's only 19 boxes weight. It's a simple math. And then it'll stop the thing. Somebody manually goes in, lifts up, pulls out the empty box. Solution worked. Everybody was super happy. Okay, so 4 weeks later, they're looking at it, how often this happens, how often the thing stops. everything worked as predicted. Predictive analytics team got kudos. Okay, everybody got bonus. 5th week onwards, the boxes were all delivered fine, but then the productivity of that belt stopping thing did not work. It's like they didn't even stop the belt. So everybody was wondering what the heck happened. So they went into the factory. Then there was this intern who got frustrated because every hour, the belt was stopping, and then he had to go pick up the empty boxes in it. So all he did was bought a $20 fan, put it right across that weighing bench, and then it blew out the empty box. Okay. So what's the moral of the story is, don't think that all solutions are going to be provided by AI. Okay, don't over-engineer your solutions. Don't bring $10 million, $20 million solutions to your enterprise. So there are $20 solutions too. So a simple fan could actually fix the problem, or a simple AI tool could fix that problem. So with that story, questions? Are we on time? I don't know. Oh, we got time. Yes, sir.
I'm kind of curious from an executive or managerial role how your policies are.
Great question. This is why we need to know about all of these tools. Is anybody smoking the system? Unless you're on top of like, what is this AI generated or is this real? So we keep track of all of these things. So email cannot be copied. Email cannot be fed. So if anybody does anything from the data perspective, it creates alerts. So we have a lot of alerting mechanism. So then the person is called and like, what did you do? That's why you got to be top of the game, isn't it? Like if you are playing a game, you better be on 2020, isn't it? You can't be on the 2010 and still. I'm sure that happens in every area. Like if you're an NFL coach, are you still following the 2010 rule book? No. So you got to catch up with the 2023 playbook, isn't it? Like you're watching the 2022 videos, you're also watching the 2010 videos, isn't it? If you're the coach, you bet. Yeah, that's why you're paid, isn't it? And now there will be AI tools which will also assist them. That's all I'm saying. Yes, to make better decisions.
Is it? I guess. What are your thoughts on staff being able to pick their own tools, especially when they leave? How do you access what's in those tools?
Yes. Yes. Great question. That's what you need to figure it out. Yes. Yeah, we cross-train. Yeah. That's an ongoing problem, irrespective of AI. That AI isn't going to solve, isn't it? So still have all these people-to-people connections and treat everybody as like all of that still stays the same, isn't it? If you're not compassionate, if you treat everything as a tool, then that's not going to work either. So tools are tools, like the internet or computers. Yes, sir.
You talked a little bit about building some of these internally.
Yeah.
How do you go about that process if you're going to try to leverage like
Yeah, there's a classic build versus buy, isn't it? So we run a lot of stuff on private cloud. So then people ask me like, wow, this could be a lot cheaper in AWS, isn't it? But we then are very concerned about patient data, patient safety. So we build certain tools and run within our own environment in the private cloud with our own data, plus some external data to make better decisions for our clinicians. Yes.
At that point, are you training it yourself?
Yes. Yep. But we can leverage what's happening outside, isn't it? So it's like, what are these tools doing? Some of it we use AWS if it's not patient safety, like we feed and like get some information. Like weather data, we play around a lot with weather data. I know a lot of you might be wondering why are you playing with weather data if you're working in healthcare, isn't it? Like last week, we had 3 people show up for sunburn, and our forecasting software did not pick it up because sunburn was not a thing in April 1st week in Minnesota. Do you get it? So you can only forecast so much, but never in a million years I would have predicted like on April 1st week somebody would show up for sunburn, and then there is like no clinician be ready to treat them in like less than 30 minutes because like simple stuff like that. Yeah.
Have you or your team
built out a process to bake off these tools against each other, if they're comparable to each other, and maybe
Yes.
what does that process look like in a company?
Great question. Now you're drinking some of. You got to come on this side so that I can answer that. No. There is a lot of process. Like we people bring it in. Like luckily in our company we have like we copied this from Google. Like in Fridays you go figure out your own tool, figure out what bugs you, go talk to the. It's like as a software engineer, if you join my team, you have to spend a day with the call center every month, for instance. So then you come back from the call center, you will go look at the tools, you will solve the problem. So we copied that from the shoe company. God, I'm forgetting the name. Zappos, thank you. Zappos did that. So we're not reinventing anything, so we are just trying to mimic something from Google. That is how we got into the Write Sonic versus Jasper. So there is a team in my, a couple of people who are like Jasper is the tool. And then and then a couple of people on my team who say like, no, it's Write Sonic. So then we'll have like let's do a lunch and learn about like, is this Jasper on this side, Write Sonic, pros and cons, fight it them. We still have two, but some people like this. Some people, isn't it? This is like the classic Microsoft versus Apple. We still love Apple. I mean, I still like Microsoft as a company because it'll do phenomenal on your investments, isn't it? Yeah. I don't use that much, but that's okay. Somebody has to give you the bread and butter when you're retiring, isn't it? So that's what Microsoft and Apple will do. Yes, sir. No? Cool. Anything else, folks? Before we wrap up, thank you for sure. Yeah.
Just love your humor throughout the presentation.
Thank you so much, man. Especially after the break, after the pizza, isn't it? We want a little bit of that, isn't it? Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.